And greetings, fellow settlers. It is Alex here, and today I have another Settlers of Catan gameplay for you. I am placing first, and I really have to decide whether I want to go City Knight strategy or road strategy, because as a first player, you always want to look for the highest producing spots. And the highest producing spot on the board is 8, 9, 10, so basically worth 12 points. But I'm really eyeing this 6, 5, 11 spot worth 11 points, which is less than 12. But I, at the end of the day, decided to build here mainly because of this 6 ore. And if you know me, I really prefer to use City Knight strategy or with ore strategy. I find it the strongest one on most islands, and that's the reason why I actually took a little bit worse spot, and also why I actually took a spot which has only two different resources, because in most cases you really want to get three different resources when you place a settlement. But in this case, I actually believe this was a good trade, mainly because the ore will be pretty much a scarce resource in this game. The only good spot is this 6. The other one is 3, and 12 is really a bad number to be next to. Now the green player, of course, smartly decide to build on this 8, 9, 10, the highest producing spot left. He's also committing to the road strategy, because this spot has also a wood brick combo. And then the blue player is placing last, and he actually took 4, 10, 9 spots. So it seems like he will also try to go for the longest road, which is something I don't mind. Really, it's the best thing to be the only one going for the certain strategy. And if those two players will fight for the longest road, then better for me. For the second spot, he took 5, 8, 12, and I mean it's pretty good decision, because this is the only I mean, wheat is also important resource, and you pretty much have to have a settlement next to it, and at the same time he secures the sheep. So blue player, I think, is pretty much a big threat, having all resources. The only thing he's lacking is ore next to that 12 ore, but otherwise he's in pretty good shape. Now green makes a big mistake. I never advise anyone to build next to the seaside or on the shore. And this is because you actually deprive yourself of resources. If you build next to the shore, then at max you can only get 2 resource tiles, and the production in Settlers of Catan is exponential. Therefore, you want to pretty much have your 2 settlements next to 6 different resource tiles. Now, at the same time, he also blocked my ship port. That's also the reason why I built road there, mainly because I hoped to get next to this 8 ship, which I got settlements next to the ship, but with the port blocked, there isn't much I can do. So yeah, the green player pretty much blocked me, but also, in my opinion, just eliminated himself from the game. I don't think he has any real chances. Without a wheat, and wheat is pretty much the most important overall resource in the entire game. Because without wheat, you cannot build settlements, you cannot build cities, you cannot buy development cards. So green player is pretty much will just build roads and maybe, I mean, he has a port, but with the port strategy, you are really too slow to expand. Many people underestimate that still you need to trade two resources for one, and you're really progressing slowly. And that's also the reason why so-called monopolizing resource or port strategy, when you rely on a port, usually doesn't work, except in specific circumstances. And where I also plan to make a video about it in the future. But yeah, right now, as you can see, I'm pretty much the main target of both of the players, which of course I don't like. I prefer to have a robber on somebody else. And the thing that has especially hurt me is that they blocked my wheat. I mean, I don't really mind if they block wood or brick or, I don't know, even a sheep maybe, but wheat and ore, I really want them to stay open because my strategy relies on building cities. This is really what you want to do as a city knight player. Pretty much, upgrade your settlements. And as you know, building cities is the best upgrade you can do to boost your production, because you always build your settlements on the best spots. So if you upgrade them, you double your production. But if you build a new settlement, you will have to build it on spots that are left, and of course spots that are left are usually the bad ones, the ones with low production numbers, or the ones with I don't know, bad resource combos like this 9911. So that's the reason why cities are a lot stronger than settlements. Also, as you can see, I don't really have a lot of luck with my numbers. This is also a weakness of City Knight strategy. You rely on the same numbers. For example, I rely heavily on 5, 6, and 8s. I'm not next to a 9. And I'm also hoping to roll a 7 to really put a rubber away from my 5 wheat. And as you can see, the blue one strikes first, already builds a settlement, which is something I actually don't really mind. He will make himself a target, and that's really what you want. You want somebody else to become a target, not like in the beginning when both of the players were striking at me. You don't want to be this. You don't want to be in the lead. You want to stay behind and just quietly upgrade. Also, that move by the green player is not really the best one. Again, as I said, I was saying, he just made himself a target. He's in the lead. He's leading. He has 4 points. And really, taking longest road in the beginning of a match is never a good idea. And also, he used the longest road or road building card. And in my opinion, you should really use it only in combination when you want to build a settlement. So you use it and build a settlement, because right now the both of us, me and the blue player, will think twice before trading with the green, because we know that he can just build a settlement easily. Now the 6 rolled, which is of course good for me, but I really need some wheat. I really need a 7 to roll, because as I said, without the wheat you are pretty much gone from the game. You cannot do anything. Maybe I was thinking whether to take this trade, and yeah, I mean, I took it because I really need wheat to either buy a development card or build a city. Although I don't know, was it a good trade? I guess. Because at the end of the day, wood is not that scarce of a resource. Look at the blue. He's next to the two wood tiles, next to the 9 on a number 9. So I guess that for him, even if I didn't give him that wood, then he will probably obtain it in the future. And at the same time, the green player was in no not probably didn't have resources to build. He doesn't have a wheat, so I think this was a beneficially trade for me still, mainly because of my lack of wheat. And now I really want to build a city. I'm even prepared to take a chance and maybe I'll lose half of my cards due to the robber, but still I really want to city up this 5-6-11 settlement because this will really boost my production. Now the green player pretty much is right now is pretty much stuck on a shore. Also another advice, never like build roads next to the shore and then build settlements there, because as I said before, you are really boxed in. You also don't have much resources. Even in best case, you will get next to the two tiles producing something, so I don't really think it's worth it. Now another 6 rolls seems like a good number, but you know, without a wheat I can't do much about it. Okay, so the blue one uses his knight. Where is he going to put it? Maybe on 6th ore, since both of us, me and the green player, are next to it. Yeah, and he puts it there, and it is also the only ore tile in good ore tile in the game. Now I hope to roll a 5, although you know it wasn't a 7, so I shouldn't really complain. Now my primary goal is to really get a wheat somehow to upgrade my city, my settlement. And there are many options for me to do it. Like I can either uh, get another or trade 4 ores or 4 ships. But since I realized that nobody actually want to give me ship, I'll just trade ship for an ore and then trade with a bank. And this is really what I have to do right now, because as you can see, I'm behind. I'm the last one by points, and when you're last one, it's usually the best thing to just build cities, because as I said before, they boost your production the most, and that's how you become competitive again. Now green looking for wood, but nobody has it. The free rolls, which gives him ore, and I mean this number 3 is rolling pretty much. I think it rolled 2 or 3 times already, so I wouldn't mind my 11 to start rolling. Now of course I need a brick to build a settlement in a port, in a 3-to-1 port, which is usually the best port to be in general, unless you really have tons of specific resource. The number 6 is blocked, which is unfortunate because I don't get any ore. Another 6. I'm really starting to getting more and more nervous. I could have like 4 ores in my hand already, and blue is just building and expanding his empire, which I don't really like that much because he's becoming really a robber proof right now. I don't even know where to place a robber on him. He's really he has settlement on so much different numbers on 6, 8, 5, 9s, 10s, 4s, 3s. So almost on every roll he's just getting a resource. Now green buying a development card, which is a move I disagree heavily with. Like, why would you do this? He doesn't even have a settlement next to a weak spot, so I really count him out of this game. Also, I found it ironically that the blue player blocked our ore tile, but at the same time he's looking for ore. I actually encountered some players who, when they roll a 7, they don't put a robber on a resource they need. So in this case, blue would put a robber somewhere else and leave this 6 ore open so that me and green player could maybe trade him some ore. And I finally rolled a robber, but you know, I just have to discard half of my resources, which I don't like, of course. I will put on the blue, and I'm thinking either 8 wheat, which is his one of the highest producing spots, and also wheat is a important resource, but at the same time he has his settlements next to 3 wheat spots, and so at the end of the day I decided to block his ore, which is a move that many of you will probably disagree with, but I mean 3 is really a low number, but still, you know, I know he needs ore because he already built 5 of his settlements, so he cannot build settlements anymore, and he needs to city up. So by blocking his ore, I really want to completely block him from getting a city. Now green uses a knight and puts on a 8 wheat, which is good, at least he's not robbing me, but still, by placing a robber there, he won't really stop blue that much. And what I also wanted to show you with this uh, game is that sometimes, even if you try your best, even if you have a position that you believe is the best, or if you believe you have the best spots on the board, sometimes you're just going to lose and there is nothing you can do about it. Like in this case, the dice are really not rolling as I would like. For example, number 7 hadn't rolled for a long time when the rubber was on my 6 ore, depriving me of that ore and preventing me from sitting up and from buying development cards. And also you'll have some other players, like this green for example, who is doing his best to just leave a complete island open to the blue, and so the blue can just build whenever he wants to. Because if I were green, I would actually point my road to that 6 wood, 3 ore, and 11 wheat spot. And by doing this, you would actually divide blue because he couldn't connect his two settlements. But he instead just decided to build on a shore, and blue is just dominating the island. This is also a problem of Catan University because there are not enough players. So usually, all games, unless you have your friends in playing with you in a custom room, all games are free player games, and free player games are really not that balanced in my opinion. Four-player games are a lot more balanced and a lot more fun to play also. Mainly because I think in three-player game this road strategy is a lot more important, a lot stronger. And I mean, if you have only one player who doesn't really know how to play, like in this case is the green player, then the one player can really take advantage of this and just expand and conquer the island, so to say. Um, so yeah, that's really something I'm looking forward to maybe in the future when more players are going to play it, and then maybe there will be actually options of playing four-player games, which are a lot more fun and a lot more challenging also because there is more competition. And usually at the end of the placement, the first phase when you place your settlements, there is really literally almost no good spots left. So yeah, a lot more challenging. And of course, also a city night strategy is a lot stronger in a four-player game than in a three-player game. But yeah, also, as you could see, I used my resources to purchase two development cards. That's also something you want to do as a City Knight player. You want to get the largest army because it's almost impossible to win only by building settlements and cities. You almost all of the time you either take largest army, longest road, or even both of them. And since I can see that the blue player already has a knight, one knight showing, and two hidden development cards, I'm really nervous because he can easily take longest road, and then if he has two knights, he can just build one city and then win the game. I rolled a 7 and put a rubber on the 8 wheat, which is actually looking back maybe a mistake. Maybe I should build on or blocked his free ore again. As you can see, the 5 was rolled and he just got the wheat, so he got plenty of wheat. He has settlements next to 3 good wheat spots, so I don't know. But at the same time, he's really rubber proof. Whenever I put a rubber on, he can acquire those resources elsewhere. So he's really becoming unstoppable. And now I would really need a 6 to roll. I would need to, and also an 11. I would like to build a port or a settlement in a port, but seems like I don't have that much luck. Like you see, 3 is being rolled, but like 4 times or 5 times, I don't even know, but 11 hasn't been rolled in an entire game. And blue buys another development card. I really don't like it. I really don't like it. He's playing kind of a strange strategy. At the same time, he's going for a road strategy, but also a developer strategy, which is another name for a strategy where you buy a bunch of development cards and get largest army from it, monopolies, victory points, longest road or road buildings, and so on. I, on the other turn, of course, immediately buy two development cards. I really need to get the largest army. I really don't want blue to take it because in this case he'll just win the game. But instead he uses road building, and of course, which is a smart move. He prevents the green player to block him, and now he needs only to build one more road and he'll get the longest road and he'll go up to 7 points. So even more reasons why I should take largest army as soon as possible. I also have a victory point, which is the second best card you can have. I really like them. and Year of Plenty, which is a very good card in the beginning of a game, but not so much in the later stages. But still, I guess I'll just use it to build a settlement in the port. Now I finally block this free ore, so hopefully I'll prevent the blue from getting any more ore. And then I just pass on. Another 4 is being rolled, giving me wood and brick to the blue player. And a disaster, a 12 is being rolled. As you can see, I'm really unlucky. Even 12 is being rolled, but none of the 11s. And I have a city and a settlement next to an 11, so really unfortunate. Now, of course, the blue player capitalizes on this roll and take longest road, and he'll probably needs just one more ore to build a city. So there are the ores. Now I could use my Year of Plenty and get a brick and a ship and build a settlement in the port, but at the same time I really don't need the port. It's not that crucial because I basically spend all of my resources on development cards and cities, so I don't have a bunch of one specific resource I would want to trade, so I guess it's okay. I am telling the green player that I'm willing to trade with him just to get longest road, but I guess he's just trying to build another settlement. He's unwilling to listen to me, and yeah, there really isn't much I could do, I guess, because blue is basically just getting resources every single turn. There is not the funniest thing is there is not a single number that can be rolled without him getting a resource. The only exception is actually 11, which of course doesn't roll at all, but other than that, he gets a resource every single turn. So, I think this is really game over. Oh, and he, of course, used the Monopoly card, which is a perfect timing, and really, he gets a bunch of ores, which will enable him to build cities he needs. As you know, the Monopoly is the best card in the entire game. If used properly, you can easily get 1 or even 2 points with it. The point is, if you don't get at least 1 victory point when using a Monopoly card, you just misused it. You used it wrongly. You have to get 1 point or even 2. 2 is probably the most efficient use of Monopoly card. And there goes a city. Oh, and I guess he also had 2 victory points hidden, so that's an instant win. And yeah, then maybe if we look for the dice statistics, you can see that I was really unfortunate. The 11s hadn't rolled in the entire game, and also the 8 was rolling quite a lot. So yeah, as I said before, sometimes you just cannot do anything, and the dice says otherwise. Now the 6 was rolling quite a lot, but at the beginning of the game it was blocked by a robber, and a robber was really underwhelming. The 7 didn't roll that much. Also the 5 was pretty poor. Even the 4 was rolling more than a 5. And the 9, which really benefited blue and green a little bit, rolled quite a lot. So I guess the taking what we can take from this game is really the RNG, or the randomness of the dice, is beyond your control, and sometimes even with a good strategy and good intentions, there isn't much you can do. Like the green player blocking me, blocking my port, my ship port, which I wanted to build in. Also, him allowing the blue to build on an entire island, and at the end of the day, the dice. So yeah, but still on a better scale, if you think about it, then sometimes you'll get cheated by the dice, but sometimes the dice will help you. So that's all for today, folks. Take care, and hopefully I see you soon. Bye, guys.